Yeah, today we're talking about business growth. I'm gonna share with you a model. This model you cannot learn anywhere else. Why?
It's your model.
It's my model. This model is amazing. Why?
It's your model.
Because it works. And it works, right? It's this model I've put together. When I put this model together, it was for the purpose of this, first of all. That I understood that, okay, money, you all understand that money is important, yes?
Yeah.
Does anybody think that money isn't important? Just feel free to raise your hand if you really think that money is important. Because we always have so much money is not that important. No takers?
I don't know why.
Okay, cool. You know what's coming.
We know this game. Yeah.
Okay, so money is pretty important, and but it's not really about the paper. It's about more. I would say about the lifestyle you can get from the money. The people you can help, the difference you can make. Not so much about the Aston Martins, Ferraris, but they're nice too, right? But it's not so much about that. It's about the lifestyle. But making the money sometimes when you're kind of like stuck working in your business, you kind of lose that passion, and because you don't get to do what you want when you want, and you don't have that freedom. So then, for me, I always thought at first it was thinking about how can I make money faster, because the thought is, okay, you make money faster, you probably can retire early, right? But then when you make money fast, and then when you're making money, then the question is, okay, when do you retire, right? Because we always have that need for growth, so we always want more, we want more, we want more. And then so I gathered that, okay, making more money faster, and then I thought, okay, I wanna see how to do this. And so I created this model that I'm going to share with you to be able to grow any business super fast. And I tested it, and I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to share with you all of the challenges that I faced along the way, so you know what may be coming. But I'm also going to tell you all of the solutions that I thought of to be able to create this new model. Okay? So, first of all, if we look at this, if we look at a normal business for a second, so usually, okay, so let's have time here, and let's have growth here. So if we look at an average business, what will happen is they'll start, they'll pick up, and then kind of they'll go, right? Most of them, 90%, all fail, right? They disappear. So you kind of start it, you put the money, boom, gone, right? Then you have other businesses which they kind of go up, they kind of grow a bit, they kind of stay stagnant, they kind of stay stagnant, they kind of stay stagnant, and then they die off again. Yes? And then, so these are the majority already. We've covered the majority of businesses, right? And then you have some businesses which do this. There's some businesses which kind of grow, and then they kind of plateau. And then they kind of maybe dip a little, they kind of come up a bit, then they kind of plateau. And then they might grow a little bit. And then you have some businesses that are on a steady growth, right? So kind of like through time, it's kind of like pretty steady and been growing all the way like this. And then you have some businesses which they go up. Yeah. You also have some businesses that go up and down. Yes? They go very fast and they come down. So the question is, which growth curve would you like to have? Blue. So I've seen this blue one, and I thought, okay, it's awesome. How do you allow a business to grow exponentially? What does that mean by exponential? What does it mean?
Constant rate of growth.
Sorry?
Constant rate of growth.
More compounded growth, we say. So suddenly it gets faster and faster and faster and faster, that growth, right? But by the way, this thing that I'm going to share with you, you can use in any business. Can we just turn the mic up just slightly, please? Thank you. Right. So, when we look at this, then we start looking, the best way to illustrate it is this, okay? So, if I take, for example, a seed, and then I add a process. Okay, so for example, I plant a seed, and then add a process. The process will be like adding water. What will happen? It will grow. Right? So it will grow. We'll get a result. We get a result. So you get a result. And then what happens with a lot of businesses is, because we want it to grow faster, right? Ideally, we want it to grow faster. Does anyone want their business to go slower, by the way? So we want the business to grow faster. Now, generally speaking, how people think is like, okay, if I want this seed to grow faster, I would add more of the process. For example, instead of just putting some water in, I'll take a bucket of water and throw it over. But then what will happen? Right? So what happens is the whole thing dies. Yeah? And that's the thing, like, again, with sometimes when you try to grow a business too fast, because you're stimulating one side of it. So it's like stimulating the growth by generating more sales, for example. You get more sales in, and then suddenly your whole business collapses. Why? Because you can't fulfill the back end, maybe. The management can't deal with it, they can't deal with the orders, you can't deal with it. And that's why a lot of people, they talk about this rapid but controlled growth. A lot of people don't think about rapid growth though. They think about controlled growth. They think, oh, I'll just take it steady, because they are scared that that will happen. But for me, I seen that as a problem, because I thought, okay, I can go for the steady growth, but why not go faster? So then I thought about it. I thought, okay, so in this context, if we look at it, what we need to do is we take the seed, we add the process, but we change one more thing, and that is the context. The context meaning the environment. The context meaning the environment. So for example, I plant a seed, I add some water, and then I change the weather, I change the heat, I change the light, and then I can stimulate that growth. Are we all getting this so far? Yeah? So we change the whole context. When we change the whole context, we have what we call a controlled environment for this growth. Right? So we can stimulate the growth, but we must control the environment. Now, when I started to look at this, I thought, okay, so in business, that happens exactly the same. So the way to control the environment in business, to stimulate growth, if you look at companies like Facebook, if you look at Microsoft, if you look at all these big companies out there, the way they were able to grow exponentially at one point is all down to just one thing, and that is capital. When they have a big rush of capital come in, they can employ a lot more people, back end and front end, to deal with everything, right? When you have loads of money, you don't really have that problem, because you can pay people to do that job. So how a lot of companies do it, for example, they can go IPO. What does IPO stand for?
Initial public,
Sorry? What does it stand for?
Initial public offering.
Initial public offering. What does that mean?
offering shares.
Offering shares on the stock market. Okay? So, for example, you can take a company like Facebook, who is worth maybe 50 mil, and then suddenly they're worth billions overnight by going IPO. You have loads of companies going IPO. And that's allowing external investors to all invest into shares. But the problem with going IPO is it's not really a game for startups. It's a game for big companies already. People are turning over millions already, right? So then this strikes this idea out. We can't leverage off that to get our exponential growth. And there's so much criteria to pass through this. Another thing is you can find different private finance, right? You can go through different private finance companies. You can find a bunch of investors. Again, it's involving capital gain. You pitch to them, and then they all invest in your company. Yeah. Then that requires a lot of pitching, and a lot of persuasion, especially when you're just a startup. So I was still thinking, just as a startup. This was during the time when I first started Yo-Yo Noodle. So when I first started Yo-Yo Noodle, I was looking at it and I was looking at opening one noodle bar at a time will take me forever to be able to open something like Subway, for example, with about 40,000 stores. In fact, a question for you. Imagine this for a second. So Fred DeLuca, the founder of Subway, yeah? Many years ago, when he started, he just opened one sandwich shop. He was making the sandwiches. Basically, he was a sandwich maker, right? So a sandwich maker making $3.4 billion is pretty okay, right? It's an okay salary for a sandwich maker. Some of you are not impressed, that's fine too. And then my thought was, okay, so if I was to ask you a question, if I say, if you were to open a sandwich shop, how long will it take you to open 40,000 stores? How long? How long? How long do you think? 2,000 years. So it's pretty much, it sounds really, really impossible. I don't like that word, but it sounds really, really impossible. So then the question is, how is it done, right? So private finance, okay, you can go that way, but then you'll have to be pitching all day long and always pitching and getting more and more financing. So that's one route you can go. But it's very hard for startups because people look at startups and think, well, you're just starting out at a big risk and I don't want to invest in your company, right? You can do another thing called a merger. This is something we did in our steel company. What's a merger? Merge two companies, right? Merge two companies. So let me give you an example, okay? And this may help some of you. Some of you may use something like this, right? For example, we had one factory in the UK processing this scrap tires, processing the rubber. And then what we did was out in China, there was this company in the steel factories. They had 4 of them, and they were all making a loss. Right? This was during the recession as well. All making a loss. They had all their equipment and everything. They just wanted out. So what we did was we merged. We actually took on their debt, but it wasn't much debt in comparison to all the machinery they had. They had millions of pounds worth of machinery. So what we did is, literally, we took over their debt, which was only maybe 40, 50,000 pounds or something, and then we got all the machinery. So we just took over it, and overnight, we became 5 times as big. Does this make sense? So that's how we can just merge a company. Sometimes you don't need to pay too much money, and then suddenly you become overnight 5 times as big. We're processing 5 times as much. You can look at doing that, but then what I found was the best way so far in my journey, and this is something that I implement in all the businesses and everything I think of today, I implement the same thing, is what is it? Franchising. Franchising. Now, when we look at franchising, I want to just first of all open your mind up a little about franchising. Okay? So, repeat after me a second. Any business, and every business, can be franchised. Any business and every business can be franchised. Okay? Now, I just want to open your mind up a bit to some of the businesses, because I know a lot of you in your mind, you probably have just connect straight away to McDonald's or Burger King and stuff, and think about the food business, and you think, some of you in the coaching business or whatever business, you're thinking, well, it doesn't quite work for me, right? Or you have a product, you have a service, you're thinking maybe it doesn't work for me. I want to just open your mind up a little, okay? So we have what we call, we have what we call the franchise code, okay? So this program is 2995. Today I have a special offer for you. Okay. That's all fun. I'm only joking. Don't go running to the back, yes? Okay, so I have, for example, give me a few examples. The Body Shop. What do the Body Shop sell? Cosmetics. Okay, they're a franchise. Okay? 7-Eleven. Anybody heard that? Yeah. Yep, what they do? Convenience stores, yes. So yeah. Mailboxes. Anybody heard that?
Yeah.
What they do?
Sell shipping.
Yeah, packaging, shipping. They're a franchise too. Okay. Century 21. What do they do? Estate agent. Okay, they're a franchise too. So in property, franchise too. Europcar, what do they do? Okay, cars, just rent cars, right? So they're a franchise too. Snap-on Tools, they've been really big the last few years. Really big the last few years. They've been growing really, really fast. What do they do?
Mechanics.
The name says it. Yeah. So basically they do tool rental. Yeah. So they're a franchise too. So from a product to a service to mailboxes, products and services, there's a mix of them here. Okay. I want to just open your mind up a little bit more. Everybody do this. Say, my mind is open. Okay. Open your mind up just a little bit more. This company, My Chocolate Explosion, is a franchise. Okay. So I'm giving you these examples because I want you to know the possibilities and that all of you can use this model too. Okay. Now, they do this. So you put some chocolates, create a hamper, and then you just deliver to the door, right? We can all do this, right? So that's a franchise too, right? Very successful franchise. Christmas decoration, just selling Christmas decoration. That's a franchise too, right? Snowpro, you know what that is? Okay. Any of you have partners that snore? Okay. Or maybe you can go to Snowpro though. I get no commissions. Okay, so Snowpro is this thing. It's literally this product, right? So it's like a gum shield thing. You put it in your partner's mouth while they sleep, and then they stop snoring. Yes? Okay, so just a product. That's a franchise. So Snowpro is a franchise. Okay. Now just to do this again, everybody do this. I'll open my mind up a little bit more. Okay, so this part, duty calls. Any idea what duty calls do?
Dog walking.
Dog walking. Nice, nice. Close, but no. See, this is Sears Company, isn't it? Okay, so look, happy franchisees. You can see certificate, and there's the mascot as well. I'm sure you guess what they do now. So they go around to people's houses and they pick up food for people, right? So this is a really big company out in America, by the way, a franchise company, right? Remember this. Repeat after me. To every problem, there's always a solution, right? And when you become that solution, you can be financially rewarded for it. A big reward for it, right? A big problem. So, if you look at it, these guys, I mean, they're happy, by the way, because they're making money. And look at him. Here's my food. Nice, and he's proud. He's proud. You know, this is the thing. That's what I was talking about yesterday. I said it doesn't matter what the process is, right? The passion doesn't come from the food. The passion comes from helping people and the money, right? The value in the money, right? Look at this happy couple, happy franchisee. Yeah. Duty calls and proud. Yeah. So I hope that just open your mind up a little bit about franchising. Again, any business. And every business can be franchised. The thing with franchising is a lot of people think that franchising is a lot more complex. It's a whole new ball game. I need to be established for like 3, 5, 10 years. I need to be really successful to be able to franchise. They have all of these different myths that people think. And that's why so little people are going into franchising. But franchising is it's growing exponentially. That market is growing exponentially. I know because every year we exhibit at the big exhibitions, we see more and more new companies going into them, right? More people are finding that the power of franchising and leveraging of franchising. Now, what does a franchise consist of? Okay, it consists of what we call a ops manual, so an operations manual. An operations manual, tomorrow we'll be covering this stuff on systemization. An operations manual, meaning a manual that teaches you everything about the company and how to run the company, right? All the operations. So how to make a sales call, what's a sale on a sales call. So it's just documented. It's what you do already, documented. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Every business should actually have this already. The businesses that don't have this is probably the businesses that people are stuck in, because there's no ops manual, so you do it all yourself. Right? And you always need to communicate verbally to your employees and then it doesn't quite work out, right? So, ops manual should be there anyway, but that's what's included in a franchise, in a franchise, okay? The second thing is the training. So, you being able to train that person up to be able to do what you do, to be able to run your business, yes? The next thing is a contract agreement. A contract agreement. This is a franchise already. So bear in mind, ops manual you should pretty much have already. If you don't have one, then you just make one. Tomorrow we'll be going through that and teaching you how to system like that. Training you can do. It's just verbally you telling people how to run your business, basically. Right? Contract agreement is just agreements between the franchisor, which is you, and the franchisee, which is them. Yeah? So that's the agreement so that they need to pay you the fees. Now this is where it gets a little bit exciting. So, team, if we can get some more paper, please. More paper. Thank you. The reason I looked at franchising in the first place was because I looked at Subway. Like I said, model, the biggest up there. So I looked at Subway and I thought 40,000 stores, how long is it going to take me to open 40,000 Yo-Yo Noodles? I was thinking forever, 2,000 euros. That was the answer. I was thinking, so how can I do it then? So then when I started to look into franchising, I found this part of it bizarre. How you make money from franchising is this. One is from the franchise fee. One is from the franchise fee. And second part, there's actually another part, I'll tell you in a bit about it. The second part is the royalties. So the franchise fee, average franchise out there is probably around 35K. 35,000. What did they pay this franchise fee for? Why did they pay the 35K? What is it for?
The ops manual.
The ops manual?
Brand.
To be able to use your brand. Yeah? What else?
Training.
Training for the things I just said before, right? So the training, they get to use your brand, they get to grow your business for you. So people get to pay you to grow your business for you. Think about that for a second, yeah? So, that's what the 35K is for. The next part, the royalties. Royalties is usually paid monthly. And it's based on sales, not profit. This is the great thing, okay? So usually it's, let's use McDonald's for example, okay? I think McDonald's is around 15% of sales. Actually, let's not use McDonald's. Let's use Subway. That's the same, right? So Subway is 12% of sales. So every month, and this is per month. So they pay you every single month. Yep.
Sorry, but what is royalty?
Royalty management fee. Yeah, that's another name for it. Management fee. Yep. So it means basically they pay you every single month so that you can be that support hub. And you can be on the phone, they can call you. So you can support them. Yeah. For 12% of sales per month. Now let me give you this into more perspective so you start understanding what this is all about. Not yet, I'll just check it. Okay. So let me just put that into perspective for you. Let us take Subway's franchise fee. So Subway's franchise fee is 12K. It's 12K. It's a low franchise fee. I'll talk about all this, how to price your franchising in a moment. Okay, so 12K. Let's take, everybody got a calculator? Just help me out here. Take 12K times by 40,000 stores. Okay, let's not say 43. Let's keep it conservative. Anybody with a calculator can help me out? 12K times by 40,000. How much?
480,000.
480. Nope, not thousand. Oh, there's a maths teacher. Maths teacher. Million. Yeah. 480 million pounds. Okay? 480 million pounds. So that's 480 million pounds collected just on 12K per franchise. Yeah. Over the years, for running a sandwich shop. It's okay, right? If you start out making some sandwiches and people start paying you £480, would you be okay with that? Okay, not impressed. Okay, some beer money, yes? Some beer money. Okay, I know that that's not impressive. That's peanuts. That's peanuts. Let's look at this part of it. 12% of sales. Okay, I know that average Subway out there pays £3,000 per month. £3,000 per month. This is 12% of their sales, right? The average Subway pays £3,000 per month in royalty. Can somebody do the maths, please? Maths teacher. £3,000. 3,000 times by 40,000. What's that? There's a maths teacher. Anybody with a calculator? 120 million per month. Okay. So up front we get a bit of beer money, which is okay, and then we get 120 million pounds per month of passive. What's the word? Passive income. Okay. Again, it's okay. It's okay. For selling some sandwiches, it's okay.